All right, Christian, thanks. Christian Amanpour again with the British military, southeastern Iraq. We will check back in with more as soon as we get it on the situation that still unfolds inside the town of Basra. Back here, Essam Al-Ghalib is a writer, a journalist for Arab News. That's an English daily newspaper printed in Saudi Arabia. He too is Saudi. He joins us live here in Kuwait City. Just about 2 days ago, you were inside of Basra. You were also there on Thursday and Friday, so 2 days in a row. Before we started coming on the air here, you remarked about how quickly the situation changed. So what changed when you went inside the city?
Well, Thursday afternoon when we tried to get into Basra, the British troops refused to let us in, saying the situation was too dangerous. When we went in the following day on Friday, they said the situation had calmed a little bit. It was still risky, but we could enter at our own risk. We walked into the town, and we were picked up by another crew. My partner, Mohammed Al-Dalemi, and I were on foot. We got picked up by a French TV crew, and apparently we were told later that someone had used a satellite phone, and that had apparently alerted the Iraqis to our presence in the town. Immediately, shelling started. We started hearing machine gun fire very close to us. Just the situation had changed from being very, very calm, people walking the streets, to just utter chaos.
What is your sense right now, how much control the Ba'ath Party, how much control the paramilitaries have right now over the civilian population? By the way, this is a large town. 1.4 million people live there.
Yes, from my understanding, it is the second largest town in Iraq. The situation was very, very, very calm when we went in, but one thing we noticed is that the Iraqi police still had control of the town. There was aerial bombardment going on, but there was no British or U.S. troops within the city itself. We went 2 kilometers into Basra, and the intersections there were still being controlled by Iraqi uniformed police. And there were no U.S. or U.K. troops to be seen.
Wow. We're rolling some videotape right now of part of your journey in there. What are we seeing so we can describe it to our viewers?
We were in the second, actually there was 3 cars in front of us holding the Italian journalists that were stopped by the police. We rolled up behind them. We were going to make a U-turn to get out of Basra as the intense shelling started. They were the first 3 cars. They made a U-turn at the intersection, and we noticed that the Iraqi police had lifted their AK-47s and were pointing them at the cars. They stopped them and pulled them out of the vehicles, and at that point we did a quick U-turn, and we actually went against traffic rather quickly to escape.
So you got out?
We got out.
And the fate of the Italian journalists is what at this point?
Well, for the first 24 hours we had no news, but I spoke with Italian radio last night, and they said that the Italians had been transported to Baghdad. They were issued Iraqi visas and were being allowed to stay. But we're getting conflicting reports right now from other agencies as to what happened. But one thing for sure is that they are in Iraq, in Baghdad, and they are safe and well.
Wow, they are alive then.
Yes.
The refugee situation, what was your assessment? Why is it that we see this videotape of some coming streaming out of the city in the hundreds, by the dozens at least at certain times, and yet a lot of other people are choosing, or either that or they're being forced to stay inside of Basra? What's the assessment about the choice to leave or having no choice and having to stay?
The people we spoke to, they wanted to get out of there because the situation in their part of the city was quite intense and quite dangerous. The Ba'ath Party does have control of different parts of the city. Some parts of the city they have not gone into. From my understanding from the people that I spoke to is that the military, the Iraqi military, is wearing civilian clothing, forcing their way into people's homes and firing onto the American and the UK forces, I guess, during their aerial bombardment.
In addition to that, there are the reports about Iraqi soldiers firing on civilians. Is that true? Did you see any of that?
I haven't seen any of that, and I haven't heard anything.
What about another question, though? What about the whole idea about these statues of Saddam Hussein being targeted and torn down over the past, say, 24 to 36 hours? Do the people living in that town truly believe that they're in the process of being essentially freed from the rule of Saddam Hussein? Do they believe that?
Yes, they do. The first intersection we went to, where the journalist got taken, there was a huge statue of Saddam Hussein there, and it looked like it was in pretty good shape to me.
You want to continue?
Yeah, I forgot what the other part of your question was.
I just want to know about the people in Basra and whether or not they're truly convinced that the regime is under attack, as opposed to 12 years ago in the Persian Gulf War.
Yeah, many people believe that this is a war against Islam. But the majority of the people that I've spoken to feel that this is a war against Saddam, and they are very, very happy about his removal. The people that we've spoken to, when there was a camera in their face, They were saying, with our life, with our blood, with our soul, we will die for you, Saddam. But as soon as the camera was taken away and they were on a one-on-one interview with me, we were hearing that they were very, very happy that Saddam was taken away.
How often did that happen? Did it happen every time you interviewed someone?
When we were in Safwan, the first day when we got into Iraq, there was a lot of press, there was a lot of cameras, and the people there were chanting what I just told you. I told one of them aside and I said, why are you doing this? I mean, the humanitarian relief you're getting is from the Kuwaiti Red Crescent Society. And they said if the US and the UK forces decide to leave and Saddam stays, anyone who has forced any kind of opposition to Saddam Hussein or the Ba'ath Party is going to get massacred. So we have to protect ourselves.
We have to go to another report here quickly. The whole thought about the Americans and the British saying they have to win the hearts and minds of the Iraqi people. In your assessment, the people you've talked to, is that possible?
It's possible, but they need to follow up with the humanitarian aid that has been promised. We've seen people in Qasr and in, actually only in Qasr that have not had electricity and water for days at a time. When we drove into Qasr, little boys and girls were walking up to us, asking us for water, asking us for food.
Essam Al-Ghalib, writer for the Arab News. Thanks for sharing your story. And are you going to go back, or will you be able to?
Absolutely.
Okay. Good luck to you, all right?
Thank you.
Be safe.
Thank you.
In the meantime, I want to check back in. Ryan Chilcote embedded with a